makers, let's say, on the ground. And we work directly with those youth entrepreneurs and local anchors like Ashoka Africa to set up activities which are tailored to the needs of young entrepreneurs in different countries. So far we have 18 chapters. Most of those are located in Sub-Saharan Africa, but we just started our first chapter in Colombia, which we're very excited about. And these are, as mentioned, led by young entrepreneurs like Ifra, who is the founder of Supermom, which empowers women to be entrepreneurial by supporting them to engage in buying and selling to their local communities to support a network of fast-moving consumer goods. Ifra, I hope I haven't forgotten anything. So if you can unmute your mic, feel free to jump in and add to that. Otherwise, if you're still having problems, I will just hand it back to Brian. Over to you.
Hey, good morning, people. It's a bright and beautiful sunny morning. It's been a cold season in Kenya, and I'm hoping you guys are as excited as I am today. It's really beautiful outside. I think you can see it. It's really sunny, so that's a good thing. I'm hoping you guys had a restful night and your day is off to a good start. As Claire has stated, this is an engagement for supporting young entrepreneurs in Kenya. Ashoka in East Africa, which champions for everyone a change maker, is the anchor organization to the YEA chapter in Kenya, which is Youth Entrepreneurship Network. If you're yet to join our WhatsApp group, please join it. I think we will be sharing the link in the chat section. If you're yet to register on the YEA platform, please register and follow the Kenyan group. We'll be happy just to connect with you there. For those of you who are not familiar with Ashoka is the largest network of leading social entrepreneurs with over 4,000 social entrepreneurs globally, who we're calling Ashoka Fellows. And these Ashoka Fellows are spearheading system change solutions. And from this, we've been able to champion various initiatives, including supporting young people to master empathy for the good of all and supporting them to identify as change makers. So for today's session, we have Waguthi, who's going to be helping us understand a little bit more on business management. And I don't want to touch on this because I'm not an expert. I'll leave it to the experts. But that is it from me. And Salome, back to you.
Thank you. So I'll just go over some of the agenda for the sessions. We just did introduction for 5 minutes, and then from 12:05 until 1:15 p.m. Wahugu will present the presentation and session on business management and strategies. And then we'll give you time to also ask questions or any advice or anything that you may need from between 1:15 to 1:30 p.m. And please be free to add into the chat any questions or any concerns you might have, or also feedback you may have during the sessions.
So I'm guessing it's over to you, Waguthi. I'll stop sharing my screen and then allow you to do so. I think now you're a co-host, so feel free just to share your screen. Sorry, you're on mute, Waguthi, sorry.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Excited to be here. Give me a minute to share my screen and I'll put my video for a minute.
As she shares the screen, I'm just curious to know, we can't be assuming that everyone who's joined us is from Nairobi, or Kenya. Do you mind just telling us how you're feeling today morning and where you're joining us from? That would be interesting just to see, the representation. Have you registered on the platform? Just use the chat to provide some of these things and let us just engage.
I don't know why I'm sharing that. Just give me a minute. I'm sharing the wrong thing. 1 second.
No worries. I see someone has said Kigali is hot and full of lockdown. Oh, it's full lockdown. Oh, I read full of lockdown. So I was wondering what is full of lockdown. I hope you're keeping well. That is Ivan. Yeah. Quizera. I hope you're keeping safe.
We can see your screen now, but it's very zoomed in, just so you know.
Okay, sorry, thank you.
Pagodi, would you like me to share my screen with the presentation you shared?
No, just give me a minute. Sorry, just give me a minute. There's
Okay.
something, I'm not sure. Yeah, just give me a minute. I'm sorry for this.
No worries, no worries, no worries at all. Still waiting for the rest of us just to tell us where you're joining us from. Be interesting to know how you are this morning. We might be assuming that you had breakfast. Maybe someone can serve us tea.
Wow, we also have Mauritius here. Awesome. Some regional representation in this call.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. All right, so can you see that, Brian?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so good morning, everyone. Sorry, it's good afternoon. Sorry for that, it took a little longer. So today we are going to look at business management. But before I do that, I'm aware that I'm talking to change makers. So what I want us to do is all of us to send something on our chat. And I want you to think of a future headline. And this future headline is concerning you or your organization. So for instance, my headline would read, Wagodhi Mahogo, seen at Life Campus celebrating the 1 millionth person that she has impacted through Life Campus Kenya. So I want to give everyone just a minute to share with us on the chat a future headline concerning them or their organization. Ifra, you could check for me. I'm not able to check on the chat right away whether we have at least a considerable number of people who sent something. All right. So business management, what is business management? Business management is the discipline of coordinating all phases of an organization through planning. Business management is concerned with income, and so is concerned with profitability, consideration of alternative uses of the basic resources means various productive processes must be budgeted and compared. So the objective of today's training is that by the end of today's training, is that we are able to understand the required business skills to run a successful business. And we'll be able to do this by looking at a business model canvas, and we'll be able to look at the various elements that make this canvas, and you will be able to fill in your own business canvas for your idea or your business. So what is business management? And this is a process of organizing, planning, and analyzing of business activities that are required to efficiently manage and run a business process. So the core activities would have to be financial planning, human resources, human resource planning, manufacturing, communication, collaboration, and coordination. Now, some of the examples of the business skills, they are what we sometimes call the 21st century skills. And these are communication, innovation, teamwork, problem-solving skills, critical thinking, and numeracy, generally classified into learning skills. So learning and innovation skills would be things like critical thinking, problem-solving, communication, collaboration, creativity, and innovation. Digital literacy skills would be information literacy, media literacy, information and communication technology literacy. And career and life skills, this is where we'll be looking at aspects such as flexibility, adaptability, initiative, self-direction, social and cross-cultural interaction, productivity, and accountability. So let's go straight into it. Business skills. So we are looking at number one, we'll be looking at financial management. This is being able to effectively manage your finances, You need to be able to forecast your cash flow, as well as monitor your profit and loss. Having sound financial management skills will help you to run your business profitably and protect your financial investment. That's number one. The second skill that we'll be looking at is marketing, sales, and customer service. It is important to be able to promote your products and services effectively. Providing good customer service and having a marketing strategy in place will help you to generate sales. Sorry, have I gone backwards? And the third one is business skills. So this is communication and negotiations. You will need to communicate and negotiate with your suppliers, potential vendors, potential investors, customers, and even your employees. Having effective written and verbal communication skills will help you to build good working relationships. Every communication should reflect the image you're trying to project. Allow me to repeat that. Every communication should reflect the image you are trying to project. Now, communication, especially in the COVID era, is going to be very, very key because you may not be able to meet people face to face, but whether it's your email that they receive or any other communication, it's key that you're able to put that, to articulate what it is that you'd want from the people in whichever manner that you use. The fourth skill is leadership. If you employ people, leadership will be a key skill. You must be able to motivate your staff in order to get the best out of them and improve productivity. So it's important to allocate time to mentor and coach your employees. But I want to also say that leadership goes beyond leading other people. You must be able to lead yourself. You must be able to organize yourself in such a way that you're able to follow the things that you have said you have done. In fact, they always say that if you lead and there's no one following you, you're only taking a walk. So leadership is key. The fifth skill that we'll be looking at is project management and planning. Starting a business means you will have to manage a range of projects, such as setting up a website, arranging the fit out of premises, developing a range of policies and procedures. So knowing how to effectively manage your resources, including time, money, staff, will help you to achieve your goals and objectives. The next skill we are going to look at is delegation and time management. Failure to delegate is a trap many business owners fall into, usually because they are reluctant to let go of control. Managing your time effectively may mean delegating responsibility to someone else in a business or even outsourcing out of the business. Identifying who you can delegate tasks to is key, and this also gives you the opportunity for you to concentrate on those tasks that generate revenue or those critical areas that you may not want to give someone else to do. The next skill that we're looking at is problem solving. However much you plan, you will encounter problems. This means you need to be able to make good decisions, and some of them you make them under pressure. So learning to make good decisions is a key skill. The next one we'll be looking at as a business skill is networking. Building good relationships through networking will help you to grow your business and to give you the support that you may require. Consider joining an industry or business association to grow your network. Let me also say that networking helps you to get extra skills that you don't have. Because whether it's mentors, whether it's other people, the more you have a relationship with people, the more you can call on them to assist you in the decision-making and even in forecasting wherever you're going. So networking is a key business skill. So to summarize that aspect is to say that business management is both an art and a science. It requires several skills to be able to run a business successfully. Now, innovative managers use tools such as the business model canvas to manage their businesses. And the next section, we'll look at a specific business model called the business model canvas. So what is a model? So there are different definitions to this, and it's a thing used as an example to follow or to imitate. A business model canvas is also a physical, mathematical, or otherwise logical representation of a system, entity, phenomenon, or a process. In other words, it's an abstraction of a system aimed at understanding, communicating, explaining, or designing aspects of an interest, aspects of interest of that system. So a business model therefore is a plan for the successful operation of a business, identifying sources of revenue, the intended customer base, products, and details of financing. So a business model refers to a company's plan for making a profit. It identifies the products or services the business plans to sell. It helps you to identify who your target market is, and any anticipated expenses. Now, there are very many plans usually when you're running a business. Some could be, so we have a business plan, we have a business strategy, we have startup plans, we have a feasibility plan, we have an expansion plan, we have operation plans. There are many, but today we'll concentrate on the business model canvas. So what are the benefits of using a business model canvas? Business models are important for both new and established businesses. As I'm aware with the change makers, some of you are at different sides of running a business. Some are starting, or some are still at ideation, and there are those who are anywhere in between. So our business models are important for both new and established businesses. It will help new businesses to attract investment, recruit talent, and motivate management and staff. It also helps existing businesses to anticipate trends and challenges that may lie ahead. So the summary before I get into the actual model is, a business model is a company's core strategy for profitability doing business. Models include information like products and services, I've said that earlier, and it's used to generate new ideas and attract even investment. So in the next section, we'll look at a specific business model to see what I am talking about. Just to cap up a little, let me just say again, it's a visual representation that describes 9 critical elements of a firm's or an organization's offering. It is a single page overview that lays out both what a business does or what it intends to do, how it does it, enabling structured conversations around management and strategy. So the key takeaway from this is that it has 9 elements. It's a single page. And it enables one to have better communication, collaborate better, and innovate if necessary. Now, this was developed by somebody called Alexander I don't know how to pronounce the other word, excuse me, Osterwalder, and somebody else called Yves Pignol. The BMC model provides a shared language for describing, visualizing, assessing, and changing business models. So I wanted to give everyone, because we'll go through this together, I want to give you a minute to draw the chart that I've put up, so that as I take you through my example, it will help you to also feel your own with your company. So I want to give you just a minute to copy the diagram that's in front of you.
Also, if you all have any questions, please post it on the chat. And also you could use the raise hand signals on the participant list.
So please capture the 9 elements as they are. And I'll take you through an example of my own, and you can fill in according to your business. So my example is of an ICT system called SSI Ecosystems. So you can also, so please run through this section with your own idea as I take you through my example. So the first place you start with is the value proposition. Please note that BMC is not a linear description. It does not progress or develop smoothly from one stage to the next in a logical way. Instead, it makes sudden changes or seems to develop in different directions at the same time. So when you think about your value proposition, please think about the problem you want to solve and who it is that you want to solve this issue for. So a good value proposition addresses specific customers, the pains of specific customers, or the problem and the offer that you will be able to give them. How are you going to meet this pain that your target audience is going through? There are likely to be several elements to your value proposition offered to different customer segments. So you don't have to be offering one solution. There could be several solutions for different people. Now, in my case, when I've taken these, what I'm calling the SSI ecosystem, which I'll use as an example, it's for political parties. Yeah. So I am looking, in my case, I would be looking at offering this system that would be able to do two things. It would provide political parties with a secure platform that allows citizens to easily register or resign from a political party. So this is my hypothetical case. Kindly look at the same and use it for your own business. The second thing that my system would do for me, it would help me to innovate around a self-sovereign identity and enable citizens to take control of personal data when registering with political parties. That's my example. So if you're struggling to define your value proposition, ask yourself, what difference do I make and to whom? Yeah, let me repeat that. Ask yourself, what difference are you going to make, or what difference are you making and to who? So it's always important to start with the value proposition when you're working with a business model canvas. The next thing that you look at is you look at the customer segment, because it's what you're offering, but who are you offering this to? Now, kindly take note that the word customer is used loosely to mean people who get something out of what you do and give you something in return. This could be employees, this could be visitors to a website, it could be stakeholders, or even non-governmental organizations. So in other words, is who is paying. In my case, the first customer would be the political parties. And the second customer for me would be anybody over the age of 18 who is able to vote. I could also have a third one, which is the government. And fourth, it could also be any other person who is able to monitor compliance of the same. So your customer segments could be several of them. The next area to look at is to ask yourself, who are the key partners? List key organizations or people that you need to work with or you're working with. Now, when you think about these people, think of formal or even informal alliances. Think of collaborations. Think of partnerships or even joint ventures. Key partners could also be your suppliers, because these are people that you need to be able to deliver on your promise to your clients. In my case, I would have to work with ICT vendors. The other people I need to work with is the registrar of political parties and even individual political parties. I want you to also notice that some of your partners could also be your customers. Think of the role each partner plays and any added value that they bring you. Those are key partners. So please fill in your boxes as we move on. Now, the next area we look at, we said, say what you need to do to deliver your value proposition, to develop the customer relations and to generate revenue. So we're looking at key activities. To do so, ask yourself the following questions. What is the activity you are doing? What are you doing? What is the activity you're doing? Why are you doing it? What does it bring you? What does it bring that you might be missing from your value proposition? Could you stop doing it or do it differently in a way that does deliver value or income? Allow me to repeat that. What is the activity you're doing? Why are you doing it? What does it bring that you might be missing from your value proposition? Could you stop doing it or do it differently in a way that does deliver value or income? That's on your key activities. Activities address customer pain points. In my case, the activities enable political parties to comply with the Political Parties Act. It also allows political parties to easily recruit members. So think about the activities and why you're doing those activities. The next section that I want us to look at is customer relations. Describe the kind of relationship customers want or expect from you and the type of relationships you want to make with them. If, for example, your values include collaboration and equality, you might want to establish relationships based on co-creation, listening, and community input. In my case, I would use a digital platform which allows self-service relationship with my customers. So think about your customer relationships and fill in that gap, please. Then the other element to look at is key resources. Think of tangible resources such as financial reserves, buildings, equipment, and people. Alongside intangible assets, there are certain aspects such as brand, trust, data, or even intellectual property. So I now want you to think about my example. I hope you've been following it. And tell me, what do you think I would fill in my area of key resources? And when I go to the next slide, you should be able to see maybe what you could have put in my area. So key resources for me would have been digital credentials software for building trust ecosystems. I would also look at finances, and I would also look at ICT staff that are knowledgeable in blockchain development. So please do that for yourself. The next element now is channels. Describe the ways you will use to reach your customer segments. Now, this could be word of mouth. This could be advertising. It could also be social media. And you could even be more creative. Think of all the ways that people would get to know about you. In my case, it would be an online channel or even an SMS registration platform. So think about your channels. Then you come to the element that is the cost structure. Note that some ideas may not have a well-known cost structure, and that is okay. So think of all the areas that you would need to, that would be part of the cost structure. And basically what you're saying is putting a cost to all the activities that you'd need and to develop the resources. So think of what you'd need to pay for and what will it cost to deliver your value proposition through the key resources and activities. Let me say that again. Think of what you need to pay for and what it will cost to deliver your value proposition through key resources and activities. That's a cost structure. And then this takes us to the ninth element, which is revenue streams. How do you, how many areas do you have that are going to be able to bring you money? Please list them down according to your business. In my case, it would be the wallet maintenance fees paid by the political parties. And it would also be perhaps annual service paid by the same political parties. So please write down the revenue streams from your business. So in conclusion, a business model canvas is an important planning document for new and established businesses, as said. The tool looks at number one, customer segments. Customer segments, the product or service will target. Number two, value proposition, what it is that you're offering your customers. You'd also be able to look at the channels it will use to reach your customers. Number four, customer relations, the infrastructure it will require in terms of key activities, resources, and partners to execute, and the financial implications in terms of the cost structure and revenue stream. So to develop an effective business model canvas, you should be able to answer the following questions. What customer segments does your business target? Think of segments such as mass market, niche market, diversified, segmented, or multi-sided. Have you identified the values, needs, and pain points of your customers? This will help you to define your value proposition. So to develop an effective business model canvas, a business should answer the following questions. What is your value proposition for each of your customer segments? i.e. better performance, usability, lower costs. Consider elements such as new, efficient, risk reduction, or even accessibility. The other thing also is to say, what channels will you use to reach each of your customers? Look at how you will raise awareness, support customers to evaluate your product, deliver the product, or ask yourself how customers will purchase the product and how you will offer post-purchase support. And this is a key one, because if you're selling and people are not able to then reach you, then you'll have, you're going to self-sabotage. So think about how you'll offer post-purchase support. What customer relations does each customer segment expect you to establish and maintain with them? So again, you could think of things like automated systems. You could also have phone support. You could have self-service or even face-to-face. And of course, that would have to be post-COVID. Then what are all the possible ways you can generate revenue from your customers? Again, you can think of things like subscriptions, one-time purchases, royalties, licensing fees, professional fees. Also think about your pricing model. Is it a fixed price or is it feature dependent price? So to develop an effective business model canvas, a business should be able to follow the questions as I've mentioned. And really what you're asking yourself is, what key resources do your distribution channels require? What key resources do your customers require? And what key resources do your revenue streams require? So to develop an effective BMC, a business should answer the following questions. Do you know who your key partners are? Think about suppliers, partners, and the resources they require to carry out their roles. And also, how does your cost structure look like? Think of cost-driven versus value-driven structures. Cost-driven focuses on efficiencies that reduce cost, while value-driven focuses on premium services rather than the price. They are all valid. So I think we talked about, okay, so also do you know who your key partners are? I talked about suppliers and partners. And also when you're looking, okay, I think this is a repeat, sorry, yeah. So eventually, because we are still at the COVID time, maybe until here, do you have any questions, Ifra? Or do I conclude on mental health, some of the tips?
I guess we could just for now maybe open up to any questions that they may have. You could either ask questions by raising your hand or also put it in the chat.
Okay. Sorry, okay. Go on, Brian.
I was just saying that while you were doing the presentation, I asked the entrepreneurs just to highlight areas that they would like you to clarify on in relation to business management and the business model canvas. There's some of the challenges that they're experiencing as entrepreneurs and how the canvas can help them. And I think we have a few areas where I think some of the entrepreneurs would want you just to expound a little bit more on. Let me just find this text. I think it was saying, yes. So the human resource, Phyllis Wanja says human resource. And then there's Leonida says, revenue streams. And then there's a question, what are professional fees? I think those are the three areas that maybe you could touch on. Sorry, continue.
Okay, so professional fees are what you charge for the service that you're offering. So for instance, in my business, because I am a life coach and I teach, what I charge you for helping you to what I charge to teach you is my professional fee. But professional fees are done, could be in the form of consultancy. In most cases, it's not for goods sold. It's normally for services offered. Now, human resource, again, is the capacity, is what you require to be able to deliver what it is that you're doing. For instance, if you're in the business, what are some of the businesses that the youth could be in? Are we able to see what some of them are doing? Could this person tell us what they do? So we're able to look at human resources specifically for them.
So I think
Brian,
that was
or if
it Leonida or Phyllis that asked that? I'm just going to the chats one more time.
what do they do?
And maybe we can invite them just to unmute, just to share this to get. So that was Phyllis. If you're on the call, Phyllis Wanja, do you mind just unmuting and just asking your question? Did you need further clarification on how to use the BMC on human resource, or is this a challenge that you're experiencing and you would like clarification on how to use the BMC to address this challenge?
Thank you. In fact, I was just sharing with the time she had shared about the key resources, and she had talked about the resources that you need, and I just shared the human resource. Yes, it was actually just a comment from what she had shared. She had just asked us to share any ideas we know about the key resources.
Okay. So. And Leonida, did you want clarification on the revenue stream? Would you like to clarify on that, or is it the same thing as Felix?
Okay, let me just answer. The human resource one is what you would require, or the people you would require to be able to deliver on your promise. So if,
well, for me, I mentioned in section that.
Okay, I didn't get that. Brian, did you get it?
Sorry, Leonida, I think you're breaking up a little bit.
Yeah.
Could she repeat? I didn't hear what she asked, so maybe she could repeat that, please.
Hello?
Okay. Ifra, could she type out and then maybe you read it for me, because I am not hearing what she's saying.
I think, Leonida, you're breaking up.
I see.
The person who's... So you're breaking up, Leonida. Do you mind just typing it, because you're breaking up? And then just correction, Wakuti. The person who's leading the session is Salome. I think she's been kind enough not to correct you.
Oh, she should have. Sorry. Sorry, Salome.
Oh, it's not a problem. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay. But maybe let me just mention that human resources is what you require to be able to deliver on what you're offering your customers. So are you the sole person in the office, or do you require other people in your office, such as you could also be requiring an accountant, you could be requiring a salesperson, you could be requiring a marketing person. All that is part of the human resource. It's what you need to be able to sell, or to be able to sell what it is that you're selling out there. Who are the people you need to help you deliver? So that for me is how I look at human resource. Now on the revenue streams, it's the various ways you're able to make money. So like I gave my example, if I could go back to that, we talked about having various people that can benefit from let me go back to that. Who are the people who will benefit from, so revenue streams are the people who are paying you for the service that you're offering. And it doesn't have to be one person, it could be various people. So in my case, with the example that I had shared, I would be expecting payment from two different people, and those, then I call them two revenue streams. One would be a wallet maintenance fees paid by political parties, and the second would perhaps be an annual service. So it's like a subscription. Now, depending on what you're offering, you could actually have various revenue streams from different, it could be from the same people or from different people. And I think I've tackled the three areas that had been talked about, Salome.
Yes. If anyone else has any questions in regards to the revenue streams or human resources, or even to the value proposition, you are able to ask questions right now. Also, you could put your questions in the chat below. Okay, and Lonita says there were various revenue streams. That's what has been missing out. And she also says thank you for that information.
Thank you, Khadija.
Does anyone else have any questions? Also, again, you could either raise your hand to ask those questions or unmute yourself, or also put it on the chat.
If we don't get any more, then I would want to go to some tips on mental health, because I think that's also a very important thing now that we are going through COVID.
Yeah, I think if no one currently has any questions, we could continue. And then if you do, just please post it in the chat.
Okay, let me know if anybody does. So change makers, we all know that we are going through a very difficult time, which is the COVID time. And it's important that you look after yourself. In fact, you're the most important resource if you're to do a business successfully. So I wanted to give you just some tips on how to ensure that your mental health is good, so that not only now, but even later on, you're able to look back and say you're able to not only survive, but thrive during a very, very difficult time. So the number one I would want to say is that it would be very important to be able to ground yourself at a time such as this, that people are very anxious. And how do you do this? You ground yourself by trying to tell yourself, by reminding yourself that there are still positive things happening in spite of whatever else that's going on. So, and I know I was having a discussion earlier this morning. Some of you may not know, but I'm also a therapist, and I was, having a discussion with someone who had gone through a loss, and they were saying, how can I look for gratitude? How can there be a silver lining when something so bad has happened to me? And because the loss they had was through someone who had a stroke. And I said, they could have had that stroke when they had children in the car, or the whole family in the car. So there is always a silver lining. So train your mind to always look for positive things that are happening in your life. So that's one way of grounding yourself. And this is what I call having a gratitude journal. So every day before you sleep, think of the 5 things that you can be grateful for. The other thing that I would want to mention at this point is to stay connected. This is not the time to isolate. Yes, we are going through COVID. Yes, we're not supposed to be meeting up just for the sake of meeting up, but look for ways to stay connected. In fact, we do know that connection is the antidote to stress and anxiety. Yeah, isolation is a dream killer. So reach out for people, whether it's through texting, whether it's through Zoom, whether it's just making a phone call, and those that you can meet face to face, make a point of meeting them. That's important during this time. This is also a time to try and sharpen your skills. Yeah, there isn't much activity happening, and we do know that we have a lot of online courses that are even free. So this is a time to sharpen your skills and broaden your horizons. And also attending a workshop such as this. It's also a time to nurture yourself. So what do I mean by this? Take good care of your health, try and exercise, try and eat well, and generally just maintain a healthy outlook, like I mentioned. The other thing you can do is also learn to express your emotions, learn to share your burdens. Yeah, we always say sharing, you know, if you share your burden, you make, you know, it becomes less. So try and communicate with other people. Look for people to communicate, look for people to share what you are going through. And also communicate your truth. Another thing you could do at this time is take time to visualize what you want in your life. Yeah. And seek people who can help you to get there. Take time to look and say, this is where I am. Where do I want to be next year? Where do I want to be in 5 years? Where do I want to be in 10 years? Who can help me do that? So visualize what you want. And lastly, this is a time to stay connected with your higher power, however you define it. Yeah. Trust that you're cared for, trust that it's going to be okay, and that would be able to help you to stay centered. So those are the 7 areas I wanted to touch on that would be able to help you go through this very, very difficult time. And just to let you know that we are all going through issues. It's how we're able to manage the process that will see us through to the other side of COVID. And with that, Brian, if there are no other questions, I would like to say thank you for giving me an opportunity to share with you.
Well, thank you so much, Aguthi. I think this has been a really invaluable session, and I believe we've all learned a few things. And just to give it back to Salome before I start taking over, and she's the one who's leading. The question that I would like to ask is, first of all, are there any questions? So that we're not locking out anyone. I see Phyllis appreciates your session. Thank you, Aguthi. And thank you, Phyllis, for being part of this training. Yeah, I see a lot of appreciation coming in. We will be launching a poll just right now. I think, Waguthi, we will again engage you if the young entrepreneurs want to learn a bit more. We're planning for another physical convening here at our offices at Ashoka East Africa, where you can engage with, some of the trainers who've been part of this session, and for them to build on what has been shared so far. Yeah. Salome, do you have, before I take over completely the session, do you want to share something?
No problem. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with our change makers. And again, appreciate you all for joining us for this session. I think it was such a helpful tool, especially in regards to the value proposition and also highlighting mental health, which is so essential right now during this time. So again, thank you, we appreciate it. And thank you all for joining.
Just before guys jump off, I would like to request you if possible, to just turn on your videos. I'd love to take like a screenshot of this session, the guys who've joined in, and just show off in the group. So if you can, please just try and turn on your video. It's going to be 1 minute, so don't worry. I won't take too much of your bundles. So just 1 minute. I'm waiting for at least some guys to turn on their videos. Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Elliot. So if you can, just please turn on your video and show me some smile. Smile. Let's show people that we are happy. Okay, 2 more, and then I take the screenshot. Don't be left out. Okay, all smiles. Okay, just 1 more minute, 1 more minute, 1 more minute, please. Has anyone else turned on the video? Yes, yes. Smiles. Awesome, thank you so much. So I just like to inform you, we do this regularly. We invite leaders of industry just to come and help young entrepreneurs to learn a few skills that will make you, empower you in one way or another. Even if you're not an entrepreneur, employers nowadays, in this day and age, are looking for young people with business acumen. This means you're entrepreneurial, even in your thinking. Pakuti mentioned some of the skills, communication skills, problem-solving skills, critical thinking. They're very essential in today's world, whether or not you're an entrepreneur. So these sessions in this community help you get a better understanding of these skills and the path that you're supposed to follow as an entrepreneur. The leaders of industry that we're bringing on board are happy to work with you, and not just this one session, they're happy to support you. And we will continue creating these spaces for you. I don't know if Ifra is part of the call because she's the one who leads the YEI chapter in Kenya. Ifra, if you could just share 1 or 2 things, particularly, the sessions that we are planning, the physical convening that we're planning here for the guys who have, who've joined us today.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Aguti, and thank you, Salome, for, leading this conversation and this session today. I appreciate you guys. I'm sorry I couldn't be able to join on video like throughout the session. But yeah, please join us for the sessions that Brian has talked about. We're planning a physical meetup in 2 weeks. COVID guidelines and rules followed. Ashoka is going to host this physical meetup, and Brian's going to be in charge of the activities, but I'm going to be in charge of planning and everything for this session. We hope we're able to engage a number of you guys in person. We'd like to meet you guys, learn more about the work that you do, just engage and just increase the community, like the community offering that we have at the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think, guys, the poll should be on your screen. Just quickly respond to it. And then I think it'll be time for us now to call it a day, or the beginning of one for some of us, like Salome. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Waguthi. This has been really informative. For the young entrepreneurs, let's continue the conversation on the WhatsApp group. We'll appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm about to head out, so.
Okay, good. I see people are leaving, which is good. So Aguthi, I'm just going to end this shortly, and maybe we can connect to do a debrief later on.
Okay, we can, yeah, sure.
Okay.
You want us to
So
meet
thank you, guys.
Later today?
Yeah, what time works for you?
Afternoon is good. Anytime after 2:30.
Okay, so awesome. I'll reach out just for a debrief.
All right, thank you.
Have a lovely day.
And you.